All right. So welcome everyone, and thanks for joining me. Like I said, I don't know if you watched my little live video today where I give a little promo of our talk tonight, but I attended GoPro. It's a GoPro recruiting mastery, and this is Eric Worre. He is the author of GoPro, and hopefully you guys have read it. Have you all read GoPro, by the way? Tara, I know I sent it to you, right? I sent it. Didn't I send it to you, Tara?
Did you?
I think so.
No.
No, I didn't.
I don't know. I don't know. I'll look again. I'm not home right now, though. So.
Yeah. All right. So, I normally send it to people when they go Emerald. So I'll check if I didn't. So, but everybody else has, right? Dilcia, did you read it? No? Listen to it? Armando, you did, right? Oh my God.
I'm sorry, what are we talking about?
Greg, I'll make you feel better. I did.
Okay, thank you.
It was the first book that, when I became a coach, that I read.
Oh, that's it. Okay. No, I didn't read that. You sent me like a recording of that. Is that a thing? Because
Yes.
I think that's what I have.
It's the
Okay.
It's the audio book.
Okay. Yes. Then I have it, but I did not listen to it yet.
I
did. First one.
Call's over.
I didn't.
Oh.
Did I get an audio book? I didn't know.
Oh, no, I think I still need to send yours, so I'll do that. So, yeah, I just started doing it. And I know I thought I sent it to Tara and like a bunch of people who just went Emerald. So, anyway, you know, that's what this convention was. He is, you know, like the father of network marketing. You know, he wrote the book, like I said in the video, he wrote the book on network marketing. Okay. So not that he invented network marketing. Obviously it's been around for, I don't know, 50 years or 100 years or however long, but he, you know, made millions with it. And he talks about how there's nothing else like network marketing, that it is the best, you know, thing. And he explains why it's the best, you know, job or business that you can possibly have. And at the event, you can see we had Tony Robbins and, we had Pitbull and what was this guy's name, Brian? Brendan Bouchard, right? Okay. So we had seen him at Summit. So yeah, he was a great motivational speaker. But you know, and there was a lot of other top network marketers, and it was really cool because, you know, when you go to Beachbody events, they, you know, it just coaches, you know, all talking about Beachbody, right? They're all talking about the same thing, basically. And when you go to this event, the reason it's good is because you hear the top network marketers. Like we had the very top, you know, coach from Mary Kay. You know, we get to hear from her. We get to hear from the very top coach, you know, from Amway. We get to hear from the very top coach from, you know, Herbalife. And, you know, so it's really cool to get everybody's different perspectives from network marketing companies from all over the world. And like, I mean, I was just amazed at how many people were there from other countries. There are so many people, you know, like Spanish people, you know, they had, you know, the headphones and they were getting it translated into every language. So it just shows you like how big network marketing is. It's all over the world. And I think he said there were like 150 million people in network marketing, something like that. So, I mean, it's huge, right? And there's been companies, you know, Beachbody's been in it since 1998, but there are obviously network marketing companies like Amway who have been in it for, I don't know how long, right? Many, many, many years. And they're still going strong, maybe not in America, but in other countries, like they're still huge. So, and like I said in the video, it's like it or not, you know, you know, and maybe you're not aware, but Team Beachbody is a network marketing company. So it's important to understand it, right? It's important to see the value in it and see, you know, how to take advantage of it. And, you know, one of the things that Eric Worre said, and you know, I've got like, you know, pages and pages of notes, you know, and like he did these 4, you know, it was probably like a 2-hour session. So it was like 4 hours. Okay. So I'm going to boil it down for you guys. Okay. And I'm going to tell you what he talked about. And I want you to take notes. Okay. So network marketing, what it really is simple, right? It's you got to sell stuff, right? You got to sell products. 2, you've got to recruit, right? To build your team. And 3, you need to grow and develop your team. Okay. So that's it. Right? That's what we do. We sell products, we recruit coaches, and we develop our team. So he gave some stats, which I thought was interesting. Do you know that the average business costs $65,000 to start, and that 50% of small businesses will fail in their first year? Okay, so can you imagine spending $65,000 to start a new business, and then it's like flipping a coin, right? 50% likely that it's going to fail in the first year. So that's why, you know, network marketing business, your business is so amazing, right? Because what did it cost you to start, right? I mean, it cost you $39.95 to start this business, and that gets waived if you buy a product that you're going to consume, right? You know, you buy a challenge pack and it's free. So that's the reason that you know, 70% of people who get into the network marketing business don't do anything because it didn't cost them anything to get into it. You know, I bet you if you spent $65,000 to get into coaching, that you would treat this like a business, you know? And I bet you would even treat it like a job. You'd probably treat it better than your job, you know, where you spent dedicated hours to it every single day. So he gave some additional stats, which I thought were interesting. Like I said, 70% of people who get into any network marketing business are just consumers. So that's what we call discount coaches, okay? So if you are a discount coach, you know, that's perfectly fine. You're a fan of the products, right? And you love the products and you want them at a discount, right? I mean, that's why I started. That's why a lot of us started. But for those who call themselves builders, right? That 30%. Well, that even breaks down further. Like, and this is general, right? So 20% are called social enrollers. Okay. So they will recruit 1 to 2 people. Okay. And we see that all the time as coaches. It's like a coach will go Emerald because they sign up their spouse and 1 other coach, right? And that's all they ever do. Okay. So those are just social enrollers. Okay, 5% will recruit 3 to 5 coaches in their entire lifetime in this business, okay? 3% are recruiters, and they do 6 to 10 coaches, and only 2% are super recruiters. Super recruiters will recruit 10 or more in their lifetime. So I am a super recruiter. I know Brian's a super recruiter. Armando, are you a super recruiter?
Getting there.
Okay. Get there, right? And Harry, are you a super recruiter yet? Not yet? Okay, so what he says is, you know, if you want your business to grow, I mean, you got to have, you know, I guess, you know, you need to have more than these percentages, you know? So if you don't have any super recruiters, you know, you got to keep, it's a numbers game, right? So, I mean, you got to keep recruiting until you get some recruiters, some super recruiters on your team, because otherwise you're at best, you know, going to be treading water, right? Or at worst, you're going to be, you know, constantly losing coaches and behind the 8 ball. So it's a numbers game. You got to treat it like that. You just got to keep recruiting until you find those recruiters on your team or those super recruiters. But he said once you do, you know, once you do find those people, those right people, it's a game of duplication, okay? And he talked about, let me give you some points on, so write this down, guys, okay? So here's his points on duplication. Number 1, lead by example. Okay. So if you are not a recruiter or not a super recruiter yet, right? I mean, you need to lead by example. You got to be that, right? Because how are you going to expect your coaches to know how to sign up coaches or know how to go after coaches or know how to do anything if you're not doing it yourself, right? If you're not, able to find and connect with people and able to hit Success Club and things like that, then how are your coaches going to be able to do that, right? So that's number one, right? You've got to set the example for what your coaches are doing, all right? Or what you want your coaches to do. And then number two, and this one was big and he talked about it a lot, but it's basically getting people started right, okay? And it's something, I know I do. I know Brian does. I know, some of you guys are probably already doing this. But he talked about different strategies for getting your coaches started right, okay? Now, for me, it's like I treat all my coaches the same. It doesn't matter if they're a discount coach or whatever, right? It's like I get them on the phone and I talk to them. And I don't, like, if I sign up a discount coach, I don't just treat them like a discount coach and, I don't, not talk to them, or whatever, or just keep them in my challenge. Yes, I do keep them in my challenge, but I do talk to them on the phone, right? So I will still tell them all about the opportunity, tell them all about, everything that they can get as a coach, how they can earn money, how they can earn team bonuses, how they can build a team. And typically I get my discount coaches excited about coaching and want to join coaching. And then I get them plugged into our trainings and things like that. And then I work with them to get them in, our challenge groups and to help run our, like our clean eating groups, like our clean week that's coming up and stuff like that. I'll invite them to those to invite people, right? So you gotta partner up with your coaches. You gotta treat them like a partner in your business. Now, if they pull away and, they don't participate, they don't talk to you or engage, that's their choice, right? But, I don't treat them like a discount coach and you shouldn't either, right? You gotta, so, like the number one is connect with them. Okay. So you want to connect them with you as their partner, right? And you want to connect them with other coaches. And that's something that I try to do with my new coaches. I try to pair them up with other coaches that I think they would mesh with, right? And that they could connect with and that they can build and they can work on something with, right? So like I know Armando, you got partners, and Dilcia, she speaks Spanish, so I've hooked her up with some Spanish speaking coaches on our team, and she's already starting to work together with those coaches. And so that's always a good thing if you have other coaches on your team that you can pair people up with. That's good. So think of it like, it's like you've got two sides. You've got a line, right? And you want people start on one side of the line, and you want, they're just dipping their toe across that line, right? When they sign up, right? Because they're like, I don't know if I want to do this business or not. So your job is to move them across that line, okay? So that they're all in, because you want people to be all in this business, right? So I saw a video that Carrie did today, and she's like, I'm all in. I'm 100% in this business, and she had her reasons of why she was all in, right? And that's what I love. It's like, I love people because I'm like in the deep end, and I'm not coming out, ever. So I want people that want to be in there with me, right? Who bleed Beachbody Blue. And so that's what we want. We want to get people in the water, fully in and engaged with us. And, oftentimes when we don't, coaches, they get discouraged, or they don't have that support at home. And, they got somebody at home that's telling them this is a pyramid, this is a scam, you're just spending money, you're not making any money, blah, blah, blah. And then they quit, right? Because they don't have that support system. They don't have those friends. They don't have that partner. And that's what we need to be for our coaches. And we need to give that to our coaches, right? So anything that we can do to help them move them across that line, and that could be help them earn money, right? That's going to help them, show to their spouse that, yes, I can earn money in this business. I can at least get my own products paid for so that it's a viable, business or hobby or whatever I want it to be. And you can do that by running challenges together and free groups together and stuff like that. Help them with recruiting, right? If they have if your coaches have somebody that they want to talk to, get on the phone, get on a Zoom call and talk to them about it, right? Get them to events. That's a big one, right? I mean, I'm always pushing on my coaches, my new coaches, to attend Summit. I mean, you can ask Tara, I've been on her case like all week, like, hey, have you got your ticket for Summit yet? I tell her, like, I got this person who has a room and you can room with her. What are you waiting on? So, because I know that, if she goes to Summit or if anybody goes to Summit, they are going to fall in love with this business and it's going to help them so much, and it's going to do like 100 times what I've been trying to do, what I've been trying to say, or how I've been trying to move Tara across that line. Going to an event is going to do it 100 times better than I could ever do it, So Super Saturdays are great. They're coming up in January. That's one that you definitely want to get your coaches to. Like, if you recruit coaches locally, do a team builder, make it fun, drag them along with you, So one of the things you want to do is you want to validate their decision, okay? Because everybody's going to have buyer's remorse, like, what did I do? What did I get signed up in, right? So you want to validate, especially after they've signed up, validate their decision, tell them, that they're going to be a good coach, show that you have faith in them, right? Definitely. Set the proper expectations. Okay, so I know a lot of us, a lot of coaches, not us, but a lot of coaches, they'll talk about their success in their business, right? They'll talk about going on trips. They'll talk about what Beachbody has afforded them or what, we all do this, right? Because it attracts people. But we still have to set proper expectations, because when people come in and they don't see, hey, I'm not earning $1,000 a week, after my first month, what's up with this? This business doesn't work, right? So we have to set proper expectations that this business takes a lot of work, and it's going to take time. And Eric Worre, he uses the 1, 3, 5, 7 rule, and he talks about this in his book as well. But he says it's going to take you 1 year to be competent at this business. Okay? Think about, like, when you started whatever job you had, you weren't really competent at that job for at least a year, And then it's going to take you 3 years to start earning a good income. Okay? And that's not saying, I'm not saying, or he's not saying, if you just sort of, dip your toe into this business and you're sort of treating it like a hobby, that's not what he's saying. He's saying if you're all in and you're working this business every single day, right, and you're doing the vital behaviors of connecting and all that, right, then in 3 years, you will be earning a good income. 5 years, you're going to be a big earner, right? Okay. And then in 7 years, you're going to be world-class. So I've heard other speakers in personal development say that it takes about 10,000 hours to become world-class in whatever you do, So if you want to be a nurse or a doctor or whatever, it's going to take you about 10,000 hours, It's like, I remember, and I think that's, what is that, 5, 7 years, something like that, right? So I know in software, or, I wasn't, the lead engineer for, it was probably 5 to 7 years, It's like I had to, even though I knew my stuff, right? I knew I was good, right? I knew the basics, but I wasn't, world class until I worked my butt off and learned everything there was about the system. And, then I became like the top person, So think about that, and think about those expectations. And when coaches come in, try to set their expectations and try to, get them to commit to being here for the long haul and to not quit, you know. I mean, just have a commitment to be here a year or 2 years out, because this business does work and we all know it works, but it takes time to build and consistency. And a lot of people don't have the patience, which is a problem. So he also said you got to tell people it takes work, right? It takes hard work. Now, I heard another speaker came up after Eric Worre, and he goes, I disagree. And this guy was a Marine, or no, he was a Navy SEAL, okay? And he's like, I disagree with Eric. This business is not hard work. He's like, hard work is jumping out of an airplane with, you know, bullets flying around you or whatever, right? And that's true, right? I mean, it's like, you know, those of us who are in construction or, you know, some kind of manual labor, that's hard work, right? This business is not hard work, but it's still work that you have to work very hard at to be successful, okay? So he talked about the strategy of tell, show, try, and do, right? So we can't continue to do everything for our coaches and drag them along, right? We have to, you know, tell them how to do it. We have to show them how to do it. And then, you know, they need to try it and we need to watch them, right? And help them. And then they have to do it, right? So I know many times we try to drag our coaches along. We try to do it for them. We try to make them love it as much as we do, and it just doesn't work, right? I mean, but I mean, they've got to do it on their own, and they got to, you know, eventually go out and try it on their own and develop their own passion for it. Otherwise, we're just, you know, trying to force feed somebody. You got to think like an entrepreneur and not like an employee. And he told some amazing stories about this. Like, you know, we've been trained to think like an employee ever since you were a kid. Okay. He said, like, think of, you know, when you went to school in kindergarten, what does the teacher tell you to do? Do they allow you to be a free thinker and to voice your opinions and to have class discussions? No. They tell you, you know, that bell rings, they tell you to shut down, you know, sit down and shut up, right? And that's what we are trained to do ever since, like, we've been in school. And then when you go to a job, you know, do they want you to, you know, I mean, like, you know, day one on the job, are they going to want you to share your opinions and tell them everything that they're doing wrong and you have these great ideas? Most likely no, right? Because they got their way of doing it. They got their process. You know, it's like everyone has to be here at this time. You need to sit down and here's your work, do it, right? That's the employee mentality. And you have to start thinking like an entrepreneur, because in this business, you don't have a boss, right? It's like, I might be your sponsor. I'm going to help you as much as I can. But in the end, if you succeed in this business, it's because of you, okay? If you fail in this business, it's because of you, okay? So anything that you want to do in this business, you can do, as long as it's not against the policies and procedures. You know, you're not, you know, breaking the rules, but pretty much you can do anything you want to do. It's like, you know, one speaker said, he told, like, there's all different ways to work this business. You can work it belly to belly. You can teach in gyms. You can market it online. You can use social media. You can do, you know, however you want to do this business, you can do it, you know. And a lot of times people will say, oh, I don't want to do that. That's slimy. Well, then don't do it. Like, if you think a certain way is salesy or slimy or I can't do that, well, then pick a different way, right? I mean, however you want to do it is completely up to you. There's so many ways, and you can look at coaching, and there's so many coaches that are doing things different ways. You know, you are the entrepreneur of your own business. And he said, people think, when they think of work, right? Because we said this takes work, and we got to set that in people's expectations, right? We got to set that in their mind that if you want to be successful in this business, it takes work. And people, they equate work with pain, Okay. Like think, what do you think on Monday morning when you have to go to your job, right? That's a pain in your butt, right? So we have to change that perception, and we need to make work fun. So I know for me, like, especially when you go full-time entrepreneur, basically you're trading in your 40-hour job for 16-hour days, but it's fun, right? It's your passion. It's fun. It's something that you want to do, right? Most entrepreneurs, they work way more than 40 hours, but it's something that they love to do, right? And that's the mind shift that we all have to have. Even though, you might be, just doing it part-time, you may just be doing it an hour a day or whatever, you still have to have that mind shift, and you can't let yourself think, oh, this is a pain, oh, I got to go to work, right? No, you're helping people, you're doing your passion, you're making it fun, and that's what it should be. It should be fun for you to sit down for an hour and run your challenge groups and invite people and do those things. What else? Let me just see any things. He talked about you got to have focus, mental toughness. You got to become a raving fan, which we all are, I know. You got to help your coaches rank advance as soon as possible. And that's something that I always try to do. Get them that quick win. It's like I tell coaches, just sign up 2 coaches. It's like Brian said, Emerald is a decision, right? Sign up 2 coaches. You go Emerald, and then, that gets them their first win, and then they get other advantages to becoming an Emerald coach, right? And, getting them to rank advance, getting them to earn money, getting them to help, at least one person become their coach. That's going to help people get started, move them across that line, and create the duplication, right? And that's what we have to do with our people, right? And then the last thing is teach them time management. Teach them, like, it doesn't matter if you have 5 hours or 1 hour or whatever, just teach them how to manage their time. How to do that power hour. And you guys remember I had that sheet that I shared of the different power hours, but that's what we all really have to do. Here, let me just share that real quick. I have it up. Share. Okay. Sorry. Here. Make it a little smaller. Okay, so, I don't know. Is anybody using this tracker that we shared? Okay, remember we talked about the business activity tracker? This is, remember I talked about this a couple weeks ago, and I shared it in the group, and maybe you didn't see it, but there's, 3 different trackers that Moira talked about at Leadership. And there's the runner, the jogger, the walker, and, this is what, we need to be doing. So just look at the jogger, and just focus on the jogger, and like every day, just like print this off and check it off, check off your goals check off your tasks every day. Did you do 3 social media posts? Did you do 3 invites? Did you do 3, did you do your daily power hour? Did you, contribute and check in on the team page? Did you attend events in the team calls if you had any that week, right? Did you run your free group this month? And then fill out these boxes over here. It says set 3 attainable goals for the year. Set 3 attainable goals for the month. Set 3 attainable goals for the week. Like, have you guys done this? Do you guys have goals that you have set, right? Because if you don't set goals, what are you shooting for, right? So, definitely set those short-term goals so that you can, hit them. And it also gives us satisfaction, right? When we do things and we can check off that box every day, right? Or we could put a check next to, okay, 3 daily posts done, right? And you can even add to this, like workout, right? Workout done, right? Personal development done, right? Or whatever, Shakeology done if it's not on here. you know, and it just gives us satisfaction to check it off those boxes. And if you have 3 attainable weekly goals, right, you can check those off every week and say, yes, you know, I did that coach opportunity post at least once this week, or my goal was to invite 3 people to our sneak peek this week or this month, and I did that. I accomplished that, right? So, I mean, that's kind of what it comes down to. Okay. The next session that he talked about was the 5 pillars of network marketing. And think of this like the 4 vital behaviors in Beachbody. Okay, so pillar number 1. Okay, write this down. Employ yourself. Okay, so remember we said think like an entrepreneur, but this is kind of the opposite. It says treat this like a job and not your business. Okay, because how many of you would blow off going to work? Like, I don't feel like work. I don't feel like going to the job today, right? Or, nah, I don't think, you know, they want me to be there at 9 o'clock, but I just think I'm going to show up at like 3 p.m. today, right? Think of how long you would have that job if you treated your job like you do your business. Okay, think about that and be honest, you know? So he says, you know, what we need to do is we need to set sacred hours, and we need to keep those hours sacred. So if we say we are going to work the business 1 hour a day and we plan when we're going to work it, well, then we need to treat it as gospel, and we need to work it just like we would our job. We need to put just as much as importance on that 1 hour, 2 hours, or whatever we said that we were going to work. You know, because that's what you got to do to be successful in this business. It's about consistency, right? So it's what you do when no one is watching. So think about that, right? It's like, no one's checking up on you. This is your business, right? You can goof off, you can skip, you can not do your invites, you can not do your friend requests. No one's going to know, right? But if you want to be successful, you got to be doing them. You got to be doing those daily activities, that sheet that I just showed you, on a daily, weekly, monthly basis if you want to be successful. Look at Brian. He's doing them right now. He's not paying attention. He's doing his invites and his follow-ups, and he's checking in with his challenge group. Aren't you? You're muted.
Hold on.
Hold on. I'm not paying attention. Can you repeat the question?
What do you see there? What does that look like?
Oh, notes. All right. All right.
Everything you're saying.
All right. Good job.
Stop sharing. But you know what? You did catch me. In that last minute.
Yep.
For the most.
All right. So he says, be a tough boss. Okay. So he said, he posed this interesting question to the audience. He said, think about, you know, how much you want to earn. Okay. And, you know, if you want to be a top earner, and everyone at this conference wanted to be a top earner, obviously, they said, how much would you want to earn per week? You know, if you could pay someone, let's say $100 a week, how many people would they need to talk to for you? Okay, so think about that. If you could pay somebody $100 a week, how many people does that person need to talk to about the business, about a challenge pack, about inviting to your challenge group? How many would it be? All right, somebody give me an answer. Carrie, how many? $100 a week.
Okay, $100 a week. How many people would they have to talk to?
Yep.
I bet you'd be up there. I'm gonna say 100. 100
people. So you're only going to pay them $1 for talking to people? That's a big job. You're a tough boss. Okay. So Armando, how many people would they have to talk to? And this is not just sending friend invites. This is actually talking to people.
You better pay more than $5. You got to do it 10 times. I would say 800 people.
800 people for $100?
No.
Say 10.
Yeah.
You see how Kim looked at him?
Yeah.
Are you crazy?
What? I'll say between 5 to 10 people. Maybe 5.
So how many?
5.
5 people?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's better. So now, let's say you want to earn $100 a week. Are you talking to Carrie 100 people? Have you talked to 100 people this week? You know, Armando, have you talked to 5 people? Have you had conversations with 5 people and inviting them?
Yes. We're on a roll with the Clean Week. This is our third round, so it's a consistency. So.
Okay, so think about that. Think about and oh, by the way, you know, if you wanted to hire somebody, just go on Fiverr and you can get somebody from India and they would be happy to talk to people for you or wherever, you know. But just think about that. Are you being a proper boss, right? Are you talking to as many people as you would expect somebody to be talking to if you were going to pay them $100? You know, so if you want Beachbody to pay you $100, are you talking to that many people? You know, Carrie's like, no, 10 people. So, you know, think about that example. Okay, pillar number 2, set your hours. Okay, that's very important. Set your hours. It doesn't matter if it's 1 hour a day or 5 hours a day. You got to set your hours. And you need a calendar, okay? It can be a paper calendar. It could be a calendar on your phone, but you need to write those hours down, okay? Don't just say, I'm gonna work an hour a day. But if you don't have it written down, it's not really gonna happen, okay? Because you're gonna be like, I'll do it tonight. And then tonight comes and you got a headache or something comes up at work and you're stuck there, right? So plan when exactly you're going to do your time, you know, and then, you know, treat it as sacred. Like I said, you know, when that alarm goes off on your phone or that event happens or that time comes, you know, make sure you talk to your spouse or significant other and say, you know, make sure you show them that calendar. Like, this is my business time. Okay. I need you to, you know, step up and watch the kids during this time and get them to buy into it, right? Because you got to explain, this is what I want, right? This is my business. This is my time. This is, you know, how I want to do things, and get their support. And then they'll know that, you know, from whatever time, 8 to 10 p.m., that's your time to work your business or whatever, right? Or maybe you break it up into, you know, an hour in the morning and an hour at night before you go to bed or whatever. And you just got to be honest with yourself, because if you are not hitting Success Club, if you are not recruiting anybody, right? You got to be honest. Like, did you treat your time as sacred? Did you, you know, mark it on the calendar, and did you stick with it? Did you do the vital behaviors? You know, and so that's important. Pillar number 3, maximize your time. Okay, so he recommends setting 15-minute bursts. Okay, so if you have a power hour, break it up into 15-minute bursts. So you're going to spend 15 minutes of inviting, you're going to spend 15 minutes of follow-up, you're going to spend 15 minutes of checking in with your challenge groups, you know, maybe 15 minutes of checking in with your coach groups. So however you want to break it up, but just do it in bursts, you know, and, you know, just focus, get rid of all distractions. I know what a lot of us do is we say, we're going to work the business an hour, and we hop on Facebook, and then we start looking at our timeline. I know I do this, right? And I start scrolling. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, there's a video of a cat. Oh, I got to watch that, right? You can't do that, right? And I catch myself doing that all the time, and I just don't even look at the timeline. It's like, okay, I'm going to do inviting. I'm going to go, and I'm going to do that for 15 minutes or whatever. And I'm going to, if my goal is to invite 5 people or 10 people, I'm going to do that until I, get those 5 people or those 10 people, and I'm going to write it down, right? So do that, right? It's got to be focus on productive activities. Anything that you're doing that is not moving your business forward, you shouldn't be doing, okay, during that time, during that sacred time. So if you're spending time scrolling on Facebook, right, that's not going to move your business forward. What's going to move your business forward is connecting with new people, inviting people, right, doing a post, right? Think about the activities, following up with people, think about the things that will lead to either a sale or a recruit or building your team, right? Or working with your coaches. Those are the 3 activities, right, that we need to be doing. Everything else is just fluff. You could still do that, but that doesn't count as your power hour, okay? And I say personal development should not be part of your power hour, right? That's got to be, listen to it on the way to work, listen to it while you're doing your laundry or cooking or whatever. You can do personal development, outside of that. And what he says is, and again, he picked somebody in the audience and he asked this question to him. He goes, how much do you want to make in this business? How much you want to make a year in this business? And the person said $1 million. Okay. But I'm not gonna, that seems too unattainable for most of us, right? That I want to make $1 million a year. So let's make it $100,000, right? We would all love to earn 6 figures in this business, right? So $100,000, that breaks down 40 hours a week, 200, what is that? 2,000 hours, right? So that's about $50 an hour, okay? So that's what your time is worth, $50 an hour in this business. So if you are doing things like mowing the lawn, laundry, things, he said anything that you can pay somebody less than 50 hours to do, you should do. But then the flip side of that is you need to be doing, if there's something that you can do in this business that will earn you $50 an hour, then that's what you need to be doing instead of that project in the backyard or whatever that you're doing that's consuming your time, right? I'm not talking about your job or spending time with your kids. Of course, that's, very important. But if you're spending all your time on a outside yard project that you could hire somebody and you could be focused on your business and earning $50 an hour. So think about what you can do that would earn $50 an hour. Sell a challenge pack. One challenge pack is going to give you $50, right? So if you could sell a challenge pack, right? If you could spend that time selling challenge packs, or if you can get a coach started long term, especially working coach, they're going to pay you a lot more than $50 an hour long term. Okay. So think about that. Okay. That was good advice. And that's something that I've been doing even when I did this part-time and I worked at my regular job. I stopped, doing things around the house. Like instead of me spending my whole weekend painting a room that, Amanda wanted painted, I hired somebody to do it because I would rather spend that time working on my Beachbody business. And obviously it paid off, So pillar number 4, crushing procrastination. Okay. So we all procrastinate, right? we all have that thing that we keep pushing off that we know that we should do. Like, oh, I know I should create that like page. Oh, I know I should create that blog. Or, oh, I know I should start that free group. But, right, we got to stop. We got to use the 5-second rule, right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, right? And then just do it. There's a book by Brian Tracy called Eat That Frog. I'm sure Brian has it handy right there. He could show you. Look at that. Brian is the personal development guru. And when he started, he said, no way am I doing that personal development crap. I don't need that. And now he's got every single book, okay? So in that book, he talks about start with the hardest thing, right? If you've got a list of 10 things that you need to get done, don't push off the hardest thing to last, because it'll fall off and then you'll be pushing it to the next day, the next week, the next month, and that blog or whatever that you keep pushing off will never get done, right? Tackle the hard thing first, all right? Whatever you're afraid of, do it. Do that first. He says, become a do-it-now person. So that's important. Okay, pillar number 5, stay on track, stay focused. Set your clear daily goals and hold yourself accountable to those goals. So how do you hold yourself accountable? You can have friends, accountability partners, right, that you can share your goals with. If you don't have an accountability buddy, get one. Or talk to your coach. He can help you get one, and then share those, those goals, those weekly, daily, monthly goals with your accountability partner, and have them push you, have them call you out on it, and you do the same for them. And something else that you could do is set negative and positive consequences for yourself. Okay, so for example, if you didn't get your daily checklist done, just set as a negative consequence, no TV. No TV, I can't watch that show that I have DVR'd until I get this checklist done, until I do my power hour, whatever it is, And then positive reinforcement. So maybe, it's like, hey, if I can reach that monthly goal that I have set for myself, maybe SC5 or whatever, I'm going to reward myself with go to a massage. I'm going to get a massage, or I'm going to, buy that thing that I want, So do that, and then you have something like, even if no one else recognizes you for that goal that you set for yourself, you recognize yourself and you reward yourself for it. Okay. So it's your dream, and it's worth pursuing your dream, right? 100%. Okay, so the last thing is 5 assignments. So we got 5 minutes left. 5 assignments that you need to take away from this. Number 1, set your sacred hours. Okay? Okay. Number 2, get a calendar and mark those sacred hours down. Number 3, fill those hours with productive time, right? Time that moves your business forward. Figure out those activities that will move your business forward and do only those activities. Okay, number 4, create a series of rewards and punishments, right? For your goals. And you can, remember we talked about weekly, monthly, yearly goals. Your consequences and your rewards should get bigger, right? So if you meet a monthly goal, that's a bigger reward than if you meet a weekly goal, right? And if you meet that yearly goal, then you should get bigger consequences and bigger rewards, right? All right. And then number 5, the 5th thing is surround yourself with people who will push you, right? And Eric Worre talks about you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So if you hang out with losers, you know, you're probably a loser. You know, if you hang out with successful people, well, you're the average of those 5 successful people that you hang out with. If you want to be successful in this business, which obviously you do because you're on the call, right? You're wanting to hang out with successful people in this business, right? I mean, look at all the coaches who never attend the calls or never listen to the recordings, right? It's not that they don't care about being successful. Maybe they're just happy where they are, you know. But if you want to get to that next level, if you want to, you know, earn that 6 figures or whatever, you need to surround yourself with people that are going to push you, right? So that's your accountability buddy who wants the same goals as you want. That's your mentor and coaches on this team or on other teams. That's who you want to surround yourself with and make friends with. So that is it. Any questions, guys? Anything that you wanted to know that I didn't talk about?
Greg, can you share that sheet, the checkoff sheet again? I don't know if I saved it or not, but just to make sure so I could make a printout tomorrow.
Sure. Yeah. Let's all do that. Let's print it off and try filling it out for a week, and we'll all do it together. Cool? All right. We'll keep each other accountable, and we'll post it in our business builders chat. So, all right, guys. Thank you. Have a great week. Hopefully you got something out of it.
All right. Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Greg.